Hey, Finn. Hi, hello, and welcome back. Or, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Heather. This is Miss Finn. Miss Finn has left the chat. And in this video, I'm recapping my 13th and 14th weeks of treatment with Spravato. Why was that so hard to say? Spravato, or esketamine, is an FDA-approved treatment for treatment-resistant depression that's derived from part of the ketamine molecule. It's a dissociative anesthetic, meaning it causes dissociation, and I also have a dissociative disorder. So in this series, I share my experiences and tips and tricks that I learn along the way, and my overall progress as I undergo this treatment. I'll put my tips and tricks up here real quick for you to screenshot. And if you'd like a more in-depth explanation as to why each of these things are on the list, check out my week 3 video. I like to start these videos with a recap of what my week or weeks were like outside of treatment, like changes that I've noticed, improvements, setbacks, etc. But if you want to just skip ahead to the treatment, that's totally fine. I'll put a timestamp here for you. And with that, let's begin. I've felt pretty good these past couple of weeks. For some reason, I think due to Thanksgiving, I actually had my last 2 treatments only a week apart. And I feel like I've felt better these last couple of weeks. And it's really hard to describe even what I mean because I wasn't feeling bad prior to the last couple of weeks. There's just been a really subtle improvement. And I'm wondering if that's because I did it once a week these last couple weeks rather than once every other week. I don't know. Again, the difference is really subtle, and my PHQ-9 score is still down to 1. Yeah, that's right. 1 out of 27. But anyway, I do notice a change, or an improvement, in how I feel. I'm curious to know if anyone else has experienced this during treatment or knows what I'm talking about. If so, let me know in the comments. Last week, I put out part 2 of my Stalker series, which was about my ex, Don. Basically, everything that he told me about himself was a lie, and it was a very abusive relationship that finally ended because of a burrito. If you haven't seen it already, be sure to check it out. I'll put a link up top and in the description. But I do want to warn you, I share some experiences that could be triggering to some people, so viewer discretion is advised. I had to go and pick up my mail from the post office because my mailbox was full. And that's because I never check my mail. I feel like nothing good ever comes in the mail. Like, who still uses mail these days?
Hi, poor.
My actual mail, garbage. And it's not that I avoid getting my mail because I'm afraid that there's going to be something bad in it.
Why the fuck you lying?
I avoid it because of how it makes me feel. And because every time I think, oh, I really need to check the mail, I then think, I really need to finish doing some of this other stuff first because who knows how I'm going to feel after I look at what's in my mailbox. What is denial letter? Notice of denial of payment. Watch the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe? 8 to 9 are all going to be denials for the same service. Okay, quick update. I was wrong. 7 of those envelopes were denial letters. One of them was for some other explanation of benefits. And the other letter was one saying that I was covered for the things that they denied me for 7 times. Why is health insurance like this? So yeah, still a huge problem for me. Let me know in the comments if any of you guys relate to that. Or better yet, if you know of a way to work on that. So far, I've got nothing. Oh, it started snowing. Man, my ADHD is bad today. Sorry. I am happy to report that Miss Finn has had a good couple of weeks as well. I got her a can of her wet food, which she loves. And she also had quite a few car rides.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I know she's benefiting from me being able to go out more, but I think my Spravato treatments have started helping her in a different way. Unfortunately, Miss Finn has a lot of aggression toward other dogs. I have no idea why. I know she wasn't attacked, and she didn't start off aggressive toward other dogs. It started, I want to say, around the time she was 2, and that's really bummed me out because I want her to have a full, happy dog life and be able to play with other dogs and do dog stuff, but I can't have her around other dogs. Aside from the fact that she doesn't seem to enjoy being around other dogs, my biggest fear is that she will end up biting or hurting another dog or biting somebody who tries to intervene, or that she'll get hurt from starting shit. So, for the last 8 years, I just haven't even risked it. I don't give her a chance, basically. But mind you, it's also because the second she sees another dog, she goes full-on Beatrix kiddo. Well, last week, Scott and I stopped at a food truck, and we brought her outside with us while we waited for our food. And we were just kind of walking her around this little parking lot area, and we came across another couple who had a pug. And, you know, being normal people, they thought, oh, great, let's get the 2 pugs together. So before I could even react, they let their pug out of their car, and it came running right up to Finn. Yeah, I'm talking about you. She knows I'm talking about her. Oh, get comfy, girl. All right, that's where she's gonna be. So the dog jumps out, runs over to Finn, and I felt the signals go off in my brain, like, oh no, disaster, imminent. But my body didn't react that way. In fact, I stayed pretty calm. And lo and behold, Finn was fine. Scott and I both stood there in amazement, watching her just run around and sniff this other dog and not go all Beatrix kiddo on it. Now, the reason why I think that this has everything to do with me is because last year I actually went to a trainer and started having Finn do some training sessions with him until he started sending me unsolicited dick pics.
Really? Now? In this economy?
Stop doing that, gentlemen, please. But anyway, he had told me that the mind state of the person plays a huge role in how the dog is going to act. He even went so far as to say that before each training session that he does, he has to make sure he clears his mind and gets in a calm and confident state. Otherwise, the training is going to go off the rails. And that really seemed to be the case whenever we had training sessions with him, because when he had her by the leash, she was like a whole different dog. Yeah, the problem's me. I actually came across a recent study that also seems to back this up. They took 58 dogs and their owners and sampled their hair in the summer and winter months and found that the cortisol levels between the dogs and their owners matched. So now looking back on the last 8 or so years, I was having pretty chronic and most of the time severe anxiety. So now I'm wondering if that actually carried over to Finn. I think it did. So now we're looking to arrange some play dates for Miss Finn, which makes me so happy. I want her to do normal dog stuff so bad. I would just love to see her run around and play with other dogs. It would fill my heart with so much joy. How was your guys' Thanksgiving? Mine was pretty good. Scott and I actually stayed home. We haven't spent Thanksgiving or Christmas with our families for the last couple of years.
Yeah, Bert.
Don't tell me how to cook my shit, okay?
And that's worked out great.
Finn. As you were. Hi, Finn. Is that a good breakfast?
We made the food that we wanted to eat.
Give me 5, it's a vibe. In the hood like drive-by.
I placed an online grocery order for the stuff we wanted so we could just pick it up. And they included a couple of cans of ginger beer with our order, which we tried.
Disgusting!
I just tried it.
Yeah, it's like ginger.
Do you like it?
Reminds me of taking a ginger shot.
Hey, Finn. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's what she deserves.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
Basically, we just hung out at home all day, ate dinner, and watched Pulp Fiction. We've decided on a new Thanksgiving tradition, which is to watch a Tarantino movie on Thanksgiving. I had a lot of things to be grateful for this year. The big one being that I was able to do Spravato and am depression-free. Still blows my mind that I can say that. But yeah, it was nice. Easy. I think that's pretty much all I had to share from the past couple weeks. I did order a copy of The Body Keeps the Score, and I will be doing chapter summaries of that. I did have a couple of other things I wanted to share with you guys, totally non-Spravato related. The first one is this cat video that I probably watched 40 times in a row.
No, it's not over there. Maybe it's in the ground here. No. I can feel it.
Why is that so funny to me? Also, I was recommended this video called When You Just Ain't Got It All Together from Dry Creek Wrangler School. I have no idea why this was recommended to me, but I am so glad it was. I love this guy. Love the video, love the channel. Be sure to check that video out for yourselves. I'll have links to both the cat video and this one in the description. We've also got another Spravato pioneer making videos about their experience. I watched their first video. I didn't even realize they'd put out a few others, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend you check it out for yourself. And lastly, I've been thinking about interviewing people who either have done or are currently doing Spravato. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in seeing and or participating in. I think that's it for the other stuff. Let's move on to the treatment. At the clinic I go to, they always have a little dish of lollipops next to the treatment chair. I never take one because I'm not one of the people who can taste Spravato. Thankfully, I've heard it tastes awful, but for whatever reason, I decided to try one out. I think my face says it all. I wanted to film more, but I needed my breathing exercises and guided meditations. About 20 minutes after I took my third dose, I started to have some new sensations. At first, I felt like I was melting in a good way, but I could also feel my body expanding and contracting with each breath that I took. I don't think I felt either of those things before. Let me know in the comments if I have and I'm just forgetting. But yeah, after melting and expanding and contracting for a little bit, I slid right into the sweet spot. My perfect little cocoon of bliss. And the first place I found myself was the Tulgey Wood from Alice in Wonderland. And oddly enough, it was only after this session that I remembered that I tend to go there a lot during treatments. And I would specifically be in the part of the movie with the dog brush. Don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just because there's a dog. And then the told you would morphed into this one scene from, I think it was episode 4 of Star Wars. I went flying through there and out and into space, as I usually do. And I was hoping to see that woman's face again, the one from last treatment that I saw moving through time and space.
Bars.
One of you guys commented saying that it sounded like something called a cosmic mother. And I also think one of you guys commented saying you had seen her before. But anyway, I was hoping to see her again, but she never showed up. But do you know who did? If you've watched my other videos, I'm sure you can guess. That's right, Mr. Timothee Chalamet. Oh, but things were different this time. This time, we were flying through time and space together. Oh, that's right. We were face to face, just pretty close together. Again, just flying through time and space. And then we melted into each other. I know how that sounds. Trust me, this was not like a sexual thing at all.
Stop fucking lying.
Once I had fused with Timothee Chalamet, I came to this understanding that I'm Timothee Chalamet. And Timothee Chalamet is me. And we're all one. Like, we're all different expressions of the same life force, like waves on an ocean or the flame of a candle. When they're close together, they seem to produce this one singular light source. And the only way to know the boundaries of each individual flame is to separate them. And that's what I understood us to be. That we're all one. Like individual waves on a much bigger ocean, or individual flames in a sea of candles. Oh, but these weird-ass life revelations didn't stop there. Oh, nay. Because then my perspective shifted to where I could see our entire observable universe as being just a speck of dust in something much greater and so far beyond anything we could conceive of.
You think you're in America? Zoom out.
Basically, for the rest of treatment, I was just reveling in this feeling of interconnectedness and peace and excitement that I was getting to live a life. Such a 180 from the constant suicidal ideation from the last 20 or so years. So that in and of itself was a pretty new experience. I'm really going to miss these when my treatments are over. And actually, that reminds me, if I'm not mistaken, this Saturday, December 3rd, is my last treatment. When I saw Alice a couple weeks ago, she seemed to think that I had like 1 or 2 more left, but I think maybe she was mistaken. I don't know. I'll have to find out at this appointment. Also, I need to find out if I've been approved for monthly maintenance once my treatments are done. No one at the clinic has said anything about it, but I think that I must have been approved because Alice said she put in the request like, I don't know, a month ago. And in my giant stack of mail were a ton of denial letters, but none of them was to deny a request for monthly Spravato treatments. So, fingers crossed. I also need to find out what kind of the future of this treatment is like. And please, if you know the answers to these questions, please let me know down in the comments. What I want to know is if you can do this treatment again after a certain amount of time has passed, like if you relapse. For instance, you can do TMS once a year. So I'm wondering if Spravato is like that, or if that's even necessary. Do you get what I'm trying to ask here? Can I do a full course of treatment again? And if so, how much time will have needed to pass? Have lab trials determined that doing the treatment again is even necessary? I needed some answers, so I took to the internet, specifically to Janssen's website, who's the manufacturer of Spravato, and I found a couple of interesting things. Mind you, I am not a doctor or a medical professional of any kind. Do not take any of what I'm about to tell you seriously or base any of your own medical decisions off of it. This is just literally what I found on their website. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out yourself. Okay? I am not a doctor. But what I found on their website said this. The median exposure to Spravato was 31.7 months. And according to a panel of psychiatrists from the US, EU, and UK, 80% of them believed the minimum duration of treatment should be 6 months. Now, a full course of treatment is 3 months. So are they meaning a full course of treatment and then 3 months of maintenance? I don't know. It also said that a consensus couldn't be obtained regarding continuation of treatment in patients who achieved remission or a recommended maximum duration of maintenance treatment. I'm going to ask the psychiatrist at the clinic I go to, but it seems like from their website, they don't even know what the maximum duration of maintenance treatment should be. I don't know. If you know the answer to this, please let me know in the comments. Once I have completed my full course of treatment, I think I'm going to do a video just kind of summarizing the whole experience and give my thoughts on it, stuff like that. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions that you'd want me to address in it. I still can't believe that, for all intents and purposes, I don't have depression anymore. Unbelievable. And I think because I've had it for so long, I still wake up every day grateful for how I feel. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This stuff is life-changing. Well, I don't want to ramble on about nothing, so I think I'll wrap it up. As always, if you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them in the comments and I will respond to them. If you liked this video or found it helpful in any way, please consider liking it. It helps me a lot. And don't forget to subscribe before you go if you want to keep getting these updates from me. And be sure to turn on that bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll be seeing you next week with a new video. I think this one's going to be about the False Memory Syndrome Foundation. And then in 2 weeks with my next, and possibly last, Spravato update video. Say goodbye, Finn. Okay, bye.